Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to a best of 3 series of professional StarCraft 2. What I've got for you today is a Zerg versus Protoss. We're in the bottom left hand corner in game number 1, representing himself on the main hatchery. You know him, you love him. We have none other than Dark. His opponent up in the top right hand corner, playing with the red Protoss pieces. It's been a little while since I've last casted a game of his. We're looking at Creator's main Nexus. Alrighty. So let's have a look, find out exactly what ended up going down. Creator is a player who can be extremely good. He's had really high highs, but also rather low lows. I know that in general he gets quite emotional. He probably doesn't like it when people talk about this, but when you ever see Creator play in a StarCraft 2 tournament and he like loses the first game, for example, or he like makes a misplay and it causes his loss, he is visibly very, very upset. There have been multiple instances where he just gets very angry or he gets teary-eyed, and he's certainly somebody who gains a lot of momentum generally throughout a series. So if he performs well in the beginning of this series, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up winning the whole thing. Dark, of course, is always somebody who is certainly able to get under your skin, right? Dark is very good at pushing the right buttons. That's what he's been doing for a long time, and well, he doesn't really seem to be an emotional player at all. So bit of a different vibe going into this. I can imagine it's going to be up to Dark to try and antagonize Creator. Maybe be a bit of a bully. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Did I just promote? No, that's not what I meant. I'm just saying if I was Dark, maybe that would be a strategy to consider. I'm not saying that is the... Anyways. So far, so good, though. Nothing out of the ordinary. Hatch gas pool right here on the side of the Zerg. We've got ourselves a good old Cybercore. And, of course, a Nexus here as well. We'll have to see what sort of weapon of choice he decides to go for. It's got to be a Stargate, because nobody should not go Stargate. Wait. Nobody should ever not go... Yeah, Stargate's good. Or we go Twilight? But I think we want to go Stargate. Should be a fake Warp Gate research? Oh, it's a Twilight Council build. Really? Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I want to like it, but I just don't think I do. So Dark already sort of knows this. Problem here, yeah, he decides to scout. Problem right here for Protoss is that this shows on the structure, right? So Dark can see the little spinny spin inside of that Cybercore, and that means that Dark knew that the gateway was producing something, and that the Cybercore was also producing something. Now, the Cybercore has the air upgrades, so air armor, air weapons, and then the third upgrade that it has is the Warp Gate research. This upgrade is 50 gas, and when Protoss is making something out of the gateway, and they're also spending 50 gas on top of that, since the Stargate is 150 gas, and the Twilight Council is only 100, the Robo Facility also being 100, it basically means that without scouting, Dark already knows that this is either going to be a delayed Stargate, or it's going to be a Twilight Council opener, which it pretty much always should be. We do see Protoss players faking this upgrade a lot, where they like start it up for a little bit, and then they cancel it again. But I think Dark, yeah, pretty much 10 out of 10 times here, is going to be putting his opponent on a Twilight Council-based opener. Robo Facility builds right now not very popular. And the reason why I'm a bit surprised is because this is not a build that's really better because of the new multiplayer balance patch, right? Like, we already have seen the strength of Oracle builds. It is the gold standard in this matchup for a good reason. And with the new patch, with the energy recharge ability, it's really only gotten better. Now, one difficult thing here for Zerg, it's difficult to determine what exactly is going to be the follow-up, right? So there's a lot of varieties. Even when you see the Twilight Council, it can be Glaive to Depths, which is what this is. It can be Blink Stalker, it can be Charge Lots, it can be Archons, it can even be Dark Templar. So there's still a lot of different branches of Protoss that you have to concern yourself with. Dark has decided to just go Ling Bane. Pretty good choice against most everything, but he does need a Spore Crawler or two. There's no lair or anything along those lines. Does he have enough to defend against this? He's decided to stop droning at about 40-ish. Now he's making spores. Okay, 4.5-ish minutes Spore Crawlers. I mean, this is still Glaive to Depths. Glaive to Depths hit really hard. He needs to land Banelings, and at this point, he doesn't yet have Banelings. Even though I'm not a huge fan of this build, it is something that can straight up win the game if Protoss, well, is not respected enough. So far, so good, though, for Dark. We're going to see continued warp-ins. Prism actually a little bit farther forward than we would like to see it. Queen's now in a bit of trouble too. Good transfuses. Well handled so far here by Dark. Yeah. Very well done. And now finally a third Nexus comes up. So 5 minutes into the game, about a minute and a half-ish later, a little less than that, about a minute and 10 seconds later, 20 seconds later, then a Stargate built. And now we have these units, and they're not likely to do anything. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and listening to me ranting about anything that's not a Stargate opener. Look, I want to see variety in this matchup, but there is just no better way to open as Protoss. It's just kind of the nature of things, man. Maybe if, like, Stargate openers are so commonly played and Zerg players forget how to counter this sort of thing, it's once again a good build. Dark, by the way, is still very much so in unit production mode. Like, finally he's adding on some drones again. And that may actually, in a strange way, put Creator ahead. Because Creator has been making probes pretty much non-stop, even though he doesn't have a third Nexus. He's oversaturating his bases quite heavily, actually, so he's now economically ahead. But it's mostly because Zerg has been thinking that this was some sort of delayed all-in. So now finally the lair coming up, now finally the gas geysers are coming, and now a lot of drone production. Well, let's see if Dark can use those units on the other side of the map. Force field is going to be critical. Energy recharge, not a bad idea either. There's a lot of sentries over at that third base too. This is such a weird game now. I'm actually liking this for Creator. He's done nothing this game other than basically move around the map a little bit and then go back home. Like, he didn't actually commit. Look, he's lost 1 probe and 1 adept. And only 8 Zerglings going down and a queen on the other side. So there's not really that much action. But because of the posturing, because of the mind games here, Creator actually winning the mental game here so far. Ah. Alright. So, maybe that's gonna carry a bit of momentum now. Problem for him, though, is that he doesn't really know. He's seen a bunch of Zerglings, yes. But was that an overmake on Zerglings? I mean, we know that it was. But can Creator really determine that? Not really. So I guess he's just gonna chill for a little bit and macro up. Maybe even go into a 4th Nexus nice and quick. Wouldn't mind seeing it. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, Dark not really doing anything all too crazy. Going lair, mostly just for Baneling speed, apparently. Yeah, Baneling speed and Roach speed. So we're playing what seems to be a Ravager Ling Bane here. Not a very common unit composition anymore as of a couple of patches ago. Back in the day, +2 melee would one-shot probes. No longer the case, of course, in 2024. Nice snipe right there on the Creep Tumor. And in general, this is a unit composition that's just kind of vulnerable. It's really good when the Banelings hit, and when you can get your Corrosive Bowels to connect. But off of just 66 workers, I don't really love it. Okay, the Adepts actually managed to get a council on that base. Lucky for Dark, though, he was double expanding. But he's still making an awful lot of army. Good force fields. Pushes away a bunch of these units. There's still more and more Lings left over, though. He does decide to just do the safety cancel on the 4th Nexus, and he'll restart it again here in just a moment, I'm sure. Yeah, this is one of those situations where there's barely been any fighting. And not really that much has happened, but both players are trying to counter potential strategies of the opponent. So you end up in this weird state where you could have literally just made 7 bases, and the opponent likely wouldn't have done anything about it. You could have just held down the drone button here as Dark. But ultimately, this is what we call the meta, of course. Oh my god. Dude, we're going mass Colossus? He's building more than 3 Colossus. Normally, we don't see any more than 3. Sometimes we see 4. He's gonna go up to 5. And I actually don't mind it, because I think Creator has realized here that Dark's economy has really not been that great. We kind of need Vipers, or Corruptors, or just a hell of a lot of army to overwhelm this. This is now a mass sentry Colossus push. We have 10 sentries and 5 Colossi. Huh. I mean, you can only ever really build this, I guess, reliably off of that weird Twilight Council start. He's hiding them, by the way. These are units that, according to the lore of StarCraft, are about the size of a skyscraper. And he's hiding 5 of them. He doesn't know. Dark actually is making Ling Bane. He has no idea. He's making 36 Banelings right now on the back of this. Here we go. At this point, Dark realizes what he's playing against. This counterattack is a nice one, though. Ling Bane is going to be awesome. My main question is, can he counter this army from the Protoss player? I'm surprised he's making Zerglings. I think he should be making only Roaches here. I don't even think Ravagers are worth it. Oh my god, his plan is basically to try and see if he can blow up this army, but with good force fields, Creator should be okay. Yeah, killing the Baneling Nest is actually a really good choice. A couple of preemptive force fields just to fish out a couple of biles. In the meantime, though, the Ling Bane is still going to town. That 4th base has already died twice now. An hallucinated Archon in the front to try and soak up a couple of Bane hits, if possible. Lings are being made just to go in for the counterattack. So I don't think Dark can really reliably fight this army at the front. But maybe, if Protoss is not paying attention... Woo, that was close. He can get some good balls and some good Baneling detonations in. Oh my god, maybe split up the sentries a little bit. There's a big fight happening, though. So many force fields. Zerglings are running into the main base. Natural expansion has been cleared out. Creator's army, though, is massive. Brenda is old and senile, decides to go off creep. At some point, you gotta attack move. I think at some point, you just gotta go. I don't think Creator can really dance on the edge of creep for much longer. A lot of Roaches are still being produced. Oh? Wow, GG. Dark may be winning the economic battles. He may be ahead in, he may be ahead in many different parts of the game, but he cannot beat that army from Creator. Because of that, it's a Protoss player who obtains the victory in game number 1. Okay. So what went wrong right there for Dark? Dark scouted that it was a Twilight Council opener. Or at least he figured it out, right? He didn't actually see the Twilight Council. But there's only so many options and he crossed every other alternative off the list. So he sort of figured out that it was a Twilight Council opener. And then he overmade Zerglings. Now, the reason he overmade defense is because you never really know with an Adept push like that how committed Protoss truly is. So, Adepts generally fall off really hard. I don't even remember watching the Adepts die in that previous game. Usually in like the mid game and the late game, Adepts just don't do anything. So you usually do need to commit. And I think what Dark was assuming there is that Creator was hiding a bunch of additional warp ins and that he was going to commit. Because ultimately Creator made like what, 20 Adepts, went across the map, did absolutely nothing, and then went back home. So you end up sitting in the mid game as Protoss with a bunch of Adepts that do very little. So Dark was assuming that it was something a little fishy. But it turned out Creator just made a bunch of Adepts, continued making probes, built a delayed 3rd Nexus, and then found himself with an economic advantage, despite him killing 0 drones. Yeah, and then I think the follow-up was also a little suboptimal, though, from Dark. Stalkers are pretty good against Roaches, but Colossi, they're really not. Same for, like, Sentries. Sentries just die, in general. So, if you can make a big round of Roaches, I think just maxing out on Roaches was the player right there from Dark, but obviously you didn't know if there were going to be Disruptors on the back of it, right? It could also be Immortal play on the back of that. I mean, Disruptors are very uncommon against Zerg, but technically an opportunity. Haven't actually seen them at all since the new multiplayer balance patch against Zerg. Seen them a little bit against Terran, but a little bit against Protoss, I guess, but not really in ZVP. Very few Disruptors. To be fair, it's not really a PvZ unit so much. Anyways, Whispers of Gold. We're going to expand apparently in the direction of the Protoss. Adepts can make their way across once more very rapidly. This time around, though, it's a Stargate build. A start gate. Always nice. Is that a little, is that a Thor swing set? Oh my god, look at that. That's beautiful, man. Maybe this is like a Terran theme park or something. Whispers of Gold. That's beautiful. He's having a good time. Either that or he's being disassembled. So either it's a Thor swing set or like a scrapyard. I can't quite figure it out, but that doesn't matter. Maybe this is where baby Terran units come from. I mean, we do always have these Terran logos on this map, right? We have like a rating launch, or like we have one of those. We have a refueling station. There's the Goliath. Another Wraith. Yeah, we have all these weird things going on this map. I'm not sure what the lore of Whispers of Gold is. The name doesn't really give me any info either, but... Alright. Roach Warren, about 4 minutes. Double Oracle. So we're saving up Oracles. Is this the play? What are we cooking up, Creator? So Creator decides to save up Oracles. I think the plan is to shoot lasers. At this point, what do you assume as Dark? 4.5 minutes in, you haven't seen any units yet. Now a bunch of adepts are leading the path as well, effectively making sure that there is no vision, and apparently now we're going to commit? Do you assume that this is going to be a quick Tempest build? Well, Dark decides to just pull the drones. If those drones were here, they'd all be dead. Actually, really lovely crisis management right here by Dark. Yeah, could have been a disaster. I like what Creator was trying to cook up, but ultimately, that did not get anything done. Just keep in mind that the Spore Crawlers now deal more damage than they used to, so you really do have to respect them. And now suddenly this game has been handed to Zerg on a silver platter. Dark is going to be able to do whatever he likes. Oh, army hotkey? No, just a misrelied stasis ward. Now it's very much so up to Dark to get something done here in the game. He doesn't really need to be aggressive, but he can drone freely. I don't think you're super concerned here as the Zerg. It is going to be a 4th Oracle. So the start gate decided to go into 4 Oracles. Always good. Twilight Council, Forge, Robo Facility. Yeah, what do you do right now as Creator? Momentum is heavily in the favor of the Swarm here, so Dark can just kind of do whatever he likes. It could go into Mutas, he can go into, I don't know, anything really. Swarm Host, he could just play what he did in the previous game. He can go full Roach Ravager, Roach Hydra, Quick Lurker. The map is his oyster at this point. And apparently what he likes is drones. Okay. Yeah, cute play by Creator. But there's a reason why we normally see Protoss move around the map a little bit more aggressively with those Oracles earlier on. Which is nice to get some damage done and to continue the damage. He basically wanted everything, right? Like, he wanted to deal damage and then also kill everything a little bit. But he, like, delayed himself for too long. It's just a smooth counter by Dark. Now finally a bit of damage gets done, but there's already a Hydralisk Den coming up. So enjoy it while it lasts. Blink, together with +1. 9 Overlords coming up for Dark. Alright, he's preparing Overlords for the next game. That's nice. Dark, simultaneously a pro gamer and a Diamond League player. So silly. 9 Overlords is actually very risky, because now Creator is coming across the map, and suddenly the Stalker attack is going to hit pretty hard. Obviously, this is not something you can ever rely on. I don't think I've ever seen Serral make 9 Overlords at the same time. Yeah, Creator is... He's unsure that he can actually do anything here. And honestly, even after that mistake there from Dark, I'm not sure that he can, but he's gonna give it a shot. Honestly, these Stalkers are dangerous now. Hydras are really good, though. Hydras basically stop any sort of, like, gateway-based attack. I mean, not necessarily, but they are... If you have enough Hydras, you can sort of stop these pushes pretty easily. Roach Ravager has a hard time reaching it. Now the ranged upgrade for the Hydras is done. And they already have the +1 upgrade too. Okay. Robo Bay on the back it is. Oh, good force fields, but the sentries did not have blink. So that was a bit overly ambitious, not really leading anywhere. Double Robo together with a Robo Bay. Creator is once more going to go into what is likely going to be mass Colossi. Yeah, just keep on making the Colossi and see if you can get some work done. Charge is coming up. I mean, he's doing a good job, actually, guiding his game back into something a little bit more reasonable. So all of this can be traced back. Like, this deficit here can be traced back to the oracles. It sounds a bit silly, but early game in StarCraft 2 is so significant. Honestly, if you're a StarCraft player and you're trying to get better, trying to perfect the first 5 minutes of the game should be pretty much your only focus. Everything else is nearly irrelevant. Ooh, a lot of really good stasis wards. Ultimately, some of the Zerg units here get caught. In the meantime, there is a Zealot warp in on the other side of the map, but there's no charge yet. Is there enough for Dark to push through all of this? I mean, he's maxed out. Zealots are starting to put in some work. There's a lot of roaches on the back of this right now for the Zerg player, so he is going to be able to bring some of those Zealots down. Nexus now dies, and yeah, even if Creator stabilizes here, I think he's going to be in a world of trouble. So ultimately, when you deal more damage early on, you slow down this type of attack from Zerg. Even if he holds here, he's going to be so significantly behind. Dark doesn't even care. He's actually just going to go through all of this, apparently. We do have +2 finishing up. He's going to go mass roach. Zealot still being a bit of a nuisance. 7 drones did go down, but I would say that killing an entire Nexus worth is a little bit better. There is a new base, though, building at the 12 o'clock position. Changeling has already spotted it. Here's the double Colossus again. Yeah, this is where maybe Disruptors are not a terrible choice. I think Disruptors are kind of bad across the board. Keep in mind that Disruptors with the new patch no longer one-shot roaches. So, yeah, I guess it's just a garbage unit now against Zerg. This is a good flank from Dark. Yeah. Ever since the first 2 oracles did absolutely nothing in this game, Creator has just slowly but surely been fading away. GG. Yeah, it's one of those scenarios, right, where if he would have been able to trick the Zerg player and he would have been able to kill like 12 drones on the side of Dark's main, I would have been very excited about the strat, and I probably would have called it brilliant. But then, you know, on the flip side, when the Zerg player sees it, even if he only had about 2 seconds of reaction time right there, Dark made all the right moves right at that point, and that needs to be complimented too. The fact that he actually managed to defend that perfectly, took no damage whatsoever, got one of the oracles for free, pushed all of it away. No. It put everything that he needed in the game. So, where do we take it now? So far, honestly, I gotta say, Dark seems to... okay. Dark seems to be playing very conservatively. Now, apparently, is when we're bringing out the proxy hatch. Or at least, he looks like it. I would love to see... yeah, Creator, good. Send the probe early. He doesn't have 400 minerals yet. He can't build the Nexus. But he knows that this is what Dark likes... okay. What? Sorry, what? I could have sworn that hatchery still went up. Well, Dark apparently is still gonna build it. Maybe not in his preferred location, but instead it's gonna go up as part of the wall. Thing is, where is this gonna go? So, there are some advantages. First off, you can't really create a proper choke point here as Creator, right? So, there's always going to be an opening for Zerglings to run past the gateway now, which is nice. However, there's no Zerglings. There's nothing. There's a couple structures here on the other side of the map. There's another hatchery building and all the rest of it. Is he going to go for a... no, I think he's going to cancel this hatch. Yeah, that's the plan apparently for Dark. He's going to cancel this hatch and just build a third. I thought for a second that he's going to send that drone across the map and build a spine crawler or something along those lines, but not the case. Creator has already held this, but does he know? He should actually be checking out that third base location, because that would give him all the information that he needs. Ultimately, he's playing this safely now. And the advantage here for Dark, despite him technically being behind here, right? So, obviously, he now made, well, 1, 2, 3 hatcheries, including his main one. He had 4 hatcheries before the spawning pool was ever going to do anything. He falls behind here, but what he does force out is a very delayed Stargate. So, at the very least, we do see a cancel on the Cybercore upgrade. So he decided to cancel Cybercore, use the 50 gas for the Warp Gate research, and now go into a fast-ish Stargate. But everything here has been delayed on the side of Protoss. The thing is, though, on the side of Zerg, things have been delayed even more. So, technically speaking, you can make an argument that this is good right here for Dark, because he likes playing, well, that very chaotic approach. I wonder if he picked up on the fact that the Warp Gate upgrade got, well, cancelled for a little bit and then restarted like 10 seconds later. He's gonna scout it here regardless, I suppose, but this should be an advantage for Creator across the board. The only problem is that playing it out from here is quite difficult, because you never really know exactly what Zerg is up to. More Zerglings coming up. Stargate will indeed be spotted, but look at this wall right now. What is this? This is what we call garbage. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I believe that's the technical term for it. Absolute garbage, as they say in France. Don't tell me you think this is a wall-off Creator. Like, you can hold position as Adept, but please tell me you don't actually believe this is a... Alright. Links are already over at the 3rd base. Cancel, please. Thank you. Oracle did go across. I hate this. I hate this so much, man. This giant opening in the wall with a single Adept on hold position. I'm doing my part. Sure, Adept. Sure you are. Yeah, and that's where Dark is so good, right? Look at the worker count, though. Creator doesn't really need to do anything crazy. He can just chill. Dark is far behind economically. He needs to not take any damage, though. Like, as long as he keeps the Oracle, please keep it alive at the bare minimum. Ooh, careful. Can we not just run in? Like, no. Don't give him the... What? There's a giant hole. Why do we... Are we playing pretend there's a door? Like, what are we doing right now? Okay. Well, ultimately, Twilight Council and the Forge are coming up. Dark did scout it, so I guess he doesn't have to run in any links. He wouldn't really deal any damage anyways. But he has now spotted, indeed, that this is a pretty common follow-up. We're just gonna go Blink together with +1. Over the last minute or so, though, Dark has been holding down the drone button, so worker-wise he has managed to catch up, but economically speaking, Creator has been quite significantly ahead. Difficult game to read, though. Obviously, this is where that larva mechanic is super nice. 3 probes at a time versus 14 drones. I don't love this Adept commitment. Those are gonna get picked off for basically free. 4th hatchery, all the way at the 12 o'clock position. Creator hasn't yet seen it. He has seen, though, that Zerg is not yet droning. Like, he's not yet done droning, so... If he's not yet done, there is no lair. I mean, the lair coming up in the natural right now. This is all very late. I think Creator can just... relax. You don't really have to do too much. I don't suggest you go AFK and make yourself some coffee, but, I mean, you can chill here for a bit. You really don't have to be in their face. Yeah. You have all the time in the world to do whatever you like. Now, what do you like here as Creator? Stupid wall, man. What? Please tell me that I'm not the only one that believes this is cursed. What is happening here? Why are we all pretending that there's... Alright. Robo Bay. 2nd Robo facility. Forward 4th Nexus. Stasis wards are creating a little path all the way around the map. Straight through the center. Creator shooting at the rocks for a little bit. Maybe he believes he's playing a MOBA, you know? He believes this is the Guardian over here. He's controlling the center lane right now, putting up a couple of wards. In the meantime, Infestation Pit coming up. +2 for the Zerg player. Infestation Pit together with a Baneling Nest. So I'm not really... I'm not seeing a lot of confidence here in what Dark's doing. Look at this. I didn't even know that this was allowed. This is like having a Terran structure and, I don't know, making like a Viking and a Medevac at the same time out of a single starport. We're going both Colossus as well as Disruptors at this point in the game. That feels a bit cursed. I'm always wondering if it's a misclick. Well, I guess you're not really off in a terrible direction with either of the two. He's also going into a Templar Archives right now, so Creator certainly has a really good read on this game. Yeah, he's cruising along right now. Getting whatever value he's getting on the other side of the map with the Stalkers. It's clear he's been playing, right? Like, even though I haven't seen him play in too many tournaments as of late, like maybe I just haven't caught his games. That can always be the case. It's clear to me that it's not because he hasn't been practicing. Like, this is proper strategic thinking. This is not a rusty Protoss. Everybody's in on the joke, man. What's going on here? Everybody's just pretending that there's a door here and not a... What's happening? Look at the minimap, by the way. This is all because of the new patch. We have so much energy at our disposal now on those oracles that you can sprinkle stasis wards and tons of vision around. This is like, look at the minimap right now. There's more vision for Protoss in this game than there is for Zerg. That never happens in this matchup. At least it never did happen. It's a big change. Like, vision is one of those things that's quite difficult to quantify. But vision is probably one of the main reasons why Zerg has been quite dominant over the years. Vision and movement speed. Two things that are difficult to really describe. Balance-wise, at least. Zerglings, though, are still going in. Creator saw it. Don't know if there's quick enough reaction for him to actually hold on against it. He kills a lot of the units, though, I guess. There's the Lurker, then. We already have Vipers coming up. Storm is coming. This is a good opportunity for Creator to strike. This is right before Zerg hits the late game. And he goes. He goes right now. Perfect opportunity for him to go. This is a sketchy move out because Storm is only like halfway done, but you don't really want to wait too long here. Yeah, it's tempting right now to just chill. It's tempting right now to just relax and let the Zerg player do their thing, but he has seen all of this. Prism is gonna get, okay, a little bit of work done over here. He knows that the Vipers have energy, so that means that abductions are imminent. You might now want to sit back here instead and wait for Storm. Yeah. Lurker down was actually relatively late here for Dark. He didn't really have the money for it, I suppose, but it means that he doesn't actually have Lurkers done yet with upgrades. Creator decides to chill and build 7 photon cannons. I find this a dangerous play. Yoink. Great abductions. Good feedbacks as well, but the Vipers stay alive. Whereas these Robo units do disappear, and Archon goes down too. I think Creator really needs to make a bit of a move out. This is starting to slip through his fingers. He did snipe the base up north, actually. That's a big one. Zealot over here killing a bunch of drones. Zerg instantly rebuilds the hatch. The thing is, this is ultimately still a ground-based Zerg army going up against a ground-based Protoss army. It's not a bad situation for Protoss per se. I mean, this movement here has actually been really nice by Creator. Zerg is super disconnected, guiding it almost, like herding it into the stasis wards. Colossus misrallied over here. It is gonna get sniped. In the meantime, we did have an abduction over here, but there's just not enough army units anymore at home. Dark forced to tap out because his units are just not quite good enough. This game got flipped upside down. I feel like 30 seconds ago, Creator was planting down 7 photon cannons, and then he decided, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just go kill him. I guess it worked. GG.